how to know if your Facebook ads are working well. So right now, this will be a more specific session. We're not talking about the basic setup to scaling here. We're talking about the specific thing. How do we know if our Facebook ads are working well? So I asked you, what's the least CPM you got? When I say CPM, that's the cost per message, right? So some of you said no idea daw, but some of you said the numbers well, like 1.20 daw, average is 2.5 to 3. May mga magagandang comments dito, like it already somehow summarizes what I'm going to say and what I'm going to teach you through this webinar. Okay, now I'm just tired of seeing posts and it seems like may parang contest ng pababaan ng cost per message. And I don't see anything, parang it doesn't make any sense for me. I know most of the people there in some other groups are like having e-commerce na businesses, and maybe yung iba nagtatanong lang kung okay na ba tong CPM na to, and then sabi ng iba okay na yan kasi yung sa akin nga piso eh, sa akin nga below 1 peso. Yung iba meron pang mga freelancers naghanap ng client, and then sinasabi sa portfolio, ayan, nagpakita ng screenshot 0.50 pesos, nako, 0.50 centavos for the cost per message. And it's somehow misleading for especially if you're gonna be like looking at it in a business perspective. So yun yung ihahain ko ngayon sa lamesa, like more on business perspective ng how do you determine if your Facebook ads are working. Okay? So let me emphasize this. Wala pong competition ng pababaan ng numbers. Okay? There's no competition. Don't be sick of asking, ano ba talaga? Magkano ba talaga yung cost per purchase? Magkano ba yan? Okay, so that's what we are going to find out here through this webinar. And I want you to don't believe in standards. You may have searched on Google, what is the standard cost per purchase? And then this is the cost per, okay, those are based on, okay, sabihin na lang natin na database, but those are based on certain businesses and certain industries. And your business, the business that you're handling, may not be like aligned, okay, to that standard. So don't be pressured with standards, and there's really no competition here, okay? Okay, so I assume that if you're a business owner, you might have tried already Facebook ads. And if you're a freelancer, then you might be considering to offer this as a service for your client. This is something that will gonna be helpful, okay? So bakit ba walang competition? Bakit ba there's no standards? Because of these 5 varying elements. There are varying profit margin or markup. Okay? Kasi baka sa akin, okay, profit ko sa isang product ko is maybe 500 pesos, pero sa iba 1,000 pesos, di ba? So there's a varying profit, there's a varying markup. And also there's a varying preferences. May ibang entrepreneurs na okay lang sa kanila ng ganito yung kita. There's also a varying goals. Diba? So okay lang na ganito yung sales target natin, okay lang sa akin yun. There's a varying goal. And then also, there's varying audience. Okay? And there's varying ads. And it depends on your ads, audiences, goals, preferences, and profit margin or markup. Whatever your standard should be. That's why I say create your own standard. But how can we create that own standard? So first of all, you need to know these vital numbers. Okay, kailangan yung alamin to. Una, yung average order value. Okay, so I think most of you already understand this. Basically, let's say you have a customer. What's the average value of the order kung bibili sila? Okay, so let's say you have an item worth 500 pesos and then usually binibili ng customer is dalawa. So your average order value could be 1,000. Next is the lifetime value. This is greater than the average order value. Basically, the notion of lifetime value says na one customer could buy from you at first, dun sa simula, pero in the future, like maybe next month, next year, they will still buy another stuff from you. So that's the lifetime value, and lifetime value sometimes cannot be like easily computed. It might be computed, pero hindi siya in any way magiging accurate super. Kasi there will be others na madaming bibilhin in the future, meron ding iba na hindi na uulit. Okay? And then also there is something called markup rate. I know you know this already. Maybe like you have let's say you bought from a supplier 500 pesos worth, and then you have a markup rate of 30%. So that's like 150 pesos na markup rate, markup. And then your markup rate is 30%. Ito yung patong mo. Okay? So that's the colloquial term here, patong. And then here's the most important number that I always say that you should be seeing and analyzing when you want to know if your ads are working well. It's the ROAS, or the return on ad spend. Now, the problem is, for most of the businesses here in the Philippines, wala tayong website. And most of us would go to what's the usual campaign na ginagamit? Yes, messaging, di ba? Now, the problem is, there's a way, okay? And I think I already posted this on my YouTube channel, but there's no like direct way of computing your ROAS directly from the ads manager. Okay? Again, meron, and that's using the peso sign sometimes, pero sometimes it's not really accurate. So that's why I really encourage you to also do the manual computing. Okay? So those are the vital numbers.